All right, guys. So you guys just finished doing the hair cutting, and they gave you guys again 30 minutes to be able to do the haircut. Remember, at the end of the haircut, they are gonna ask you for the comb, and they're gonna go ahead and check your haircut for you. They'll give you the comb back. And remember, right now, because it's 2020 and we are in the middle of the COVID situation, they are gonna want to make sure that you guys are sanitizing the broom and the dustpan before and after you guys go ahead and touch it. Make sure you guys sanitize it, because if they don't, they will get upset about that as well. Okay. Again, you guys will have 30 minutes to be able to do that procedure. Right after that, we're gonna jump right into what is called a work area, new client preparation, and setup of supplies. You guys have another 15 minutes to be able to set up. We're getting rid of everything. We're re-sanitizing everything. We're changing our SMA, changing everything. We're gonna go ahead and clean up as much as we can. Don't forget to clean your tripod. We're gonna change the draping because everything has hair right now. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up everything, get rid of everything, and we're gonna go ahead and the only thing again we're leaving on the top is gonna be our universal supplies. But even those, I would recommend you guys wipe them down maybe even after the section, because again, we're going into a work area, new client preparation. Okay, this one they're gonna go ahead and give you guys 15 minutes to be able to do it. Then we're gonna jump into the chemical waving. Chemical waving, again, is the perm section. We are gonna be doing it from the crown to the nape area. Usually you're gonna be doing from 10 to 12 perm rounds. The minimum they want you to see is they want you to do at least 10, and the maximum you would be at least 12. Okay, I believe in each packet you get 12 perm rounds, so that's what you're going to be doing. For the chemical waving, you will be having 20 minutes, so you have 20 minutes to do all the procedure. Again, if this is not one of your things that you love to do, practice, practice, practice. The more you practice it, the better you're going to become at it. Okay, so you will have 20 minutes. We just finished the haircut. We did a new client setup. Now we're jumping right into the chemical waving. Also, remember, when you guys are doing the new client setup, we're going to be setting up for everything. We're going to be setting up for all the chemicals that we're going to be doing. We're going to be setting up for the relaxer, PD test, strand test, for the color, for the highlights, and we're also going to be setting up for the perm, which is the one that's coming up right now. Okay, so we set up everything, and the perm section, you want to set it up as close as possible to you so that you can be ready to go for your next section. Okay, so color, everything else goes around it, and the perm section goes right in front of you. Remember to take your perm rods already in a plastic bag with the clips off, so you don't go ahead and waste time trying to take them off, or the rubber bands rip when you're trying to take them off. You want to try to prevent as many problems as possible. Okay, so you will have 20 minutes to be able to do the chemical waving. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started now. We just finished the haircut, but we are gonna go ahead and clean up the area. But one of the things that I wanted to cover with you guys before anything, before cleaning up, remember, he is gonna come and ask you guys for a comb, for the comb that you're gonna be able to give him so that he can be able to check your haircut. And this is what he's going to be doing. He's going to go ahead and grab the section on the top, bring it up, make sure that it looks pretty most even. We're going to go ahead and check, or he's going to go ahead and check some on the side, make sure that it's even as well, that it's a good uniform layer. He's going to check the bottom part of it. He's going to kind of go all around and make sure that everything looks good. He's going to hand it back to you. He's going to say thank you, and he's going to say go ahead and sweep up the hair from the bottom. The comb, once you are done with it, you're going to go straight into items to be disinfected. And the way we're going to go ahead and clean up the area is going to be a little bit different this time around. We're going to use a napkin to remove some of the hair clippings that might be on the face or on the drape. Make sure you clean up the mannequin, clean up the drape, dust off all the hair. Remember to lift up your tripod, because some of the tripods do get a lot of hair in between the legs. Make sure you dust them off, because we are going to keep using the tripod. So you want to make sure that the tripod looks nice and clean. We're going to throw that trash. And we're going to go ahead and get the dustpan and the broom that they have available for us. Remember, you guys, that you are going to be sharing the dustpan and the broom with the other candidates as well. So right now, one of the things that they want to do, especially because of this whole COVID situation that's going on, is you're gonna have to actually sanitize and disinfect the broom and the dustpan before and after every use. So we're gonna go ahead and get our disinfectant spray. We're gonna spray it on a napkin. Spray the disinfectant. Cover everything back up, and then we're gonna go ahead and sanitize the broom. And we're gonna sanitize the dustpan where we're gonna be grabbing it from. We're gonna throw that away in the trash. And we're gonna go ahead and sweep up the hair. We make sure we sweep up all the hair. When we're done, we have to again sanitize it again. So we're gonna grab another napkin, because remember somebody else is gonna be using this right now. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a napkin, same thing, spray it with the sanitizer, and go ahead and clean up or disinfect the broom and disinfect the dustpan. And then we can go ahead and place them back. And make sure they see you doing this, because you don't want to get points taken away or get kicked out of the exam itself for not disinfecting the area, because they're being really careful with the whole COVID. We're going to place our mannequin back. Remember that throughout the whole time, the entire test, it's always going to be facing the mirror. We keep moving it around because we need you guys to see it for the video. But in reality, throughout the entire test, your mannequin should always be facing towards the mirror. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and wait for our proctor. He's gonna give us the instructions. We're gonna do a new client setup. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the drape and remove everything, and we're gonna have 15 minutes to go ahead and clean up. Get rid of everything. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and wait. And again, this area is considered new client, so we are going to remove everything. You will prepare your work area for new client. You will set up the universal supplies you will use for the remainder of the examination. You will also set up supplies for the following sections of the examination: chemical waving, predisposition test and strand test, highlighting with foil virgin application, hair color retouch, virgin hair relaxer application. You will prepare your client for chemical services. You will be expected to follow client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 15 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed when you have 8 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedures until verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate that you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin. Okay, so first thing always, make sure you guys sanitize your hands and wrist areas. We're gonna go ahead and remove the draping first, get rid of that. One of the things we tell everybody all the time is try to clean up first before you start taking out any bags, before you start unpacking anything. Go ahead and remove what's dirty, remove everything for, just throw away the trash, take away the linens, do all that stuff. If for some reason while you're cleaning up, you come in contact with the bag, make sure that you sanitize your hands. You never know when they're looking at you and you don't want to get points taken away. If for some reason you drop a clip, make sure that you always pick it up. Let's say if you have something in your hand, put everything back, pick up the clip or pick up whatever fell on the floor, put them on items to be disinfected, sanitize your hands, and you keep going. Nothing big, nothing major. Make sure you're not holding stuff on your hand when you go over to pick up anything from the floor. You know, there's nothing big about this. People drop stuff all the time. They just want to make sure that you don't panic. Just do it the right way. We remove the drape on the mannequin. So now we're gonna go ahead and take all the items to be disinfected: clips, brushes, scissors, blades, everything. One of the things that we do, make sure that you don't damage your scissors, put them back in the pouch. That's what we tell you guys, to put the pouch right there, put them back in the pouch, and then go ahead and put them on items to be disinfected. By this time, because we've done the haircut for 30 minutes now, the curling iron should be completely cold. So just go ahead and wrap it up. If for some reason, let's say you forgot to turn it off, or for some reason it's just not working the way it should be, or it's still warm, you want to make sure that you're using a napkin to be able to wrap it around before you put it inside the bag. And we're going to put it on items to be disinfected. We're going to sanitize our hands. And we're going to remove the towel, which is our work area. Remember, the universal supplies do stay out there throughout the entire test. Everything should remain nice and clean. So the only thing that remains is your universal setup and your mannequin. Okay, so we're going to get new instructions for your new setup, for your new procedure. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and continue. We're going to continue with the setup. Remember, these 15 minutes is for you to be able to clean up everything, and it's also going to be included for you to set up for the next procedures as well. Sanitize your hands. Disinfect the area as well, because remember, it's a new client, so you want to make sure that everything is nicely sanitized. Again, you can spray the counter or you can spray your napkin and wipe it down. As long as it gets sanitized, that's what they're really caring about. Wipe it down. Trash. Sanitize your hands. Now we're going to go ahead and reach in there and we're going to take out our next procedure. We're going to take out, remember, we're going to be setting up for all the chemical procedures. So we are going to set up for the perm. We are going to set up for the relaxer. We're going to set up for the tint. And we're also going to set up for the highlighting section. So we're going to do a full setup for everything. We're going to take it out one by one to make sure that we don't make a mess on our station. First thing you do, like always, go ahead and take out your white towel that's going to be for your work area. Those are extra towels. So since they're extra towels, we're going to put them on our extra instruments that we have on the side. Just in case we do end up needing them, we do have them available for us. We're going to put 2 towels. 1 and 2. And just remember, over there in Stayboard, your station is going to be a little bit bigger than this table right here, so you'll have a little bit more space. This is going to be our new drape that we're going to be using for the new clients. And we're going to remove everything else, take everything out of the bag, take all the air out of the bag, so make sure it doesn't take up a lot of space in your trash bag. And go ahead and start organizing. Put all your brushes on one side, your clips on another side. That's one thing Stayboard does want you to do, is they want you to make sure that everything is separated into sections. So you have a section in hair clips, you have a section for brushes, you have a section for application brushes. You know, one of the things that we do is, since the perm is the next thing that we're going to be working on, that's what you want to put as closest to you, because that's what the next procedure that you're going to be working with. Organize everything, make it look nice and clean. Remember, you have 15 minutes to set up, so you should have enough time to be able to set up everything and just make it look nice and organized. The more organized it is, the better for you. Remember, on your perm rods, try to make sure that they're unclipped. If you leave them clipped in and you have to be unclipping them as you're working, some of them rip apart, some of them fall, some of them, you know, you don't want to have any accidents. So make sure that they're all unclipped before you go to Stayboard. Make sure you arrange everything. Sanitize your hands, because we're going to have to reach into our Stayboard bag again. Our next bag is going to be our color and bleach. Remember, we're going to be doing highlight section as well. So that's going to be for our foils for the highlights. We have the towels. We have color and we have bleach, or tint and bleach. And same thing again, we're going to go ahead and put all our brushes, everything separated, make it look nice and clean on top of your station. Take the air out of the bag before you throw it into the trash to make sure that it doesn't take up a lot of space. And we're going to go ahead and keep on arranging everything. 15 minutes should be more than enough time to be able to arrange everything the way it's supposed to look, make it look nice and clean, nice and organized. Go ahead and remove the foils from the Ziploc bag, since we are going to be using them. You don't want to struggle when you have when you're actually doing the procedure itself. Make sure the labels are facing you. You don't want to grab the wrong one. The PD test is the only thing that we do recommend you guys to leave it inside your bag. Number one, to make sure that you don't forget about it. And also sometimes the cotton and stuff like that falls on the floor and you might not see it. So just leave it in the bag until you're ready to use it. We're gonna go ahead and reach into our bag and we're gonna take out the last one, which is gonna be our relaxer bag. Once we are done taking everything out of your stayboard bag, then go ahead and zip it up. Remember, your stayboard bag has to remain closed if you're not taking anything out of it. Same thing, go ahead and arrange everything and throw your plastic bag away. Get everything out of your station that you're not gonna be using. And that's your relaxer cream. Same thing, take it out, make sure the label is facing towards you, and throw away the bags that we're not gonna be using. Okay, so your whole station is set up. It looks nice, it looks professional. Make sure everything's separated, everything's in the category, brushes, combs, clips, everything's ready to go. Now we're gonna go ahead and just drape the mannequin. This is gonna be the last procedure before we go ahead and stop and get ready for the next step. Remember, for the chemical, we are double draping, so make sure that you put a double protection. Right there, we're folding the towel in half, so we do have pretty much a double towel around the collar. And then make sure you put the drape. Remember, we have most of the stayboard bags have a small cloth cape like that one that has two sides. One is matte and the other one's a shiny side. Usually the shiny side means that it's more plastic, so it's made for chemicals. So make sure you put the shiny side on the outside. Okay, and just double check everything, make sure that everything looks good. Take out some of the gloves. Since you are going to be using a good amount of gloves on this procedure, take them out so you don't have to be struggling with the bag itself. Sanitize your hands, and we're ready to go. That's how your station should look at the end of your 15-minute setup. You will perform chemical waving. You will wrap the entire back section of the head from the crown to the nape. Once you are finished wrapping, please step back and do nothing until verbal instructions are given. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 20 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 10 minutes remaining. Do not perform saturation procedure, a test screw, or remove a rod until instructed individually by the examiner to do so. Do not remove the remaining rods until you're instructed to do so. Step back to indicate that you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin. Okay, make sure you guys start off always by sanitizing your hands and wrist areas. Okay. Go ahead and start by saturating with water your mannequin. Remember that during the perm section, a lot of people, that's one thing we do get questions about, if they can actually wet the hair to be able to do the perm. Yes, you can. In reality, when you do an actual perm, the hair should be wet to make sure that, you know, everything works well. So yes, they do allow you to wet the hair a little bit. You're going to have a lot more control and everything's going to work out a lot better. So make sure you wet it a little bit. You don't want to oversaturate it where you have a lot of water dripping on the floor, because then it becomes a safety issue. But you do want to wet it a little bit so you can have better control of the hair when you're doing the perm. We're going to go ahead and do the part. Remember, in the front section, we're going to do 2 parts in the front. So grab it right in the middle and divide it into 2 sections in the front. And we're going to do 3 sections in the back. We are going to be doing the perm, so it's going to be in the mid section. And then the 2 sides, we're not going to use them at the moment. So to go ahead and divide the front section into 2 equal parts. Remember, your mannequin will be facing the mirror, so you can always use the mirror to make sure that you're doing it right in the middle. A lot of people use the nose as a guide. And use your mirror to make your sections as clean and as neat and as evenly as possible. Remember, the perm is from the crown to the nape area. We're going to be doing anything from 12 to 14. I believe the lowest that you can do at Stayboard is 10 perm rods. And again, one of the things that we were telling you guys earlier, remember they do grade you on neatness. Make sure that everything looks nicely organized, your sections, the hairs are not sticking out at the ends, that everything looks nicely done. We're gonna go ahead and do the back section into 3 parts. So this is how your section should look at the end. You have 2 front equal sections in the front, and then you have 3 in the back. We're gonna go ahead and grab our first parting. Remember, the partings cannot be any wider than the perm rod that you're using, okay? So make sure you're not doing them too wide or too thick. And just go ahead and start your perm. This is something that, again, takes a lot of practice for some people. Make sure that you guys are practicing this at your home. Practice it over and over until you get those perfect perm rods, perfect perm